Hello, my dear friends. Today we're talking about emotional distraction and how it affects the clutter in our home. Emotional distraction is life. It's all the things that happen. Your sister is sick. Your child's teacher didn't do something the way you wanted. Your child is misbehaving. Your husband is mad at you. Gosh, there's so many things. Your car is broken down. You know, as a personal mentor, I handle about 60 people a week and all their different things. And it's funny, the ones who are more sensitive to emotional distraction, I'll say, how did your week go? Or how did your 2 weeks go? And they'll say, well, I didn't get much done because, and then they give me their reason and the emotional distraction. And the truth is, even if somebody's in the hospital, unless you're spending all day in the hospital with them because it's a true need and you have to be there to be their advocate or whatever, if you have to go see someone for an hour, that is not enough to knock you off your rails. If you're spending 6 hours or more doing something, then yes, I could see that it would knock you off your rails. But if you are not, then you need to look at your planner. Here's my planner. You need to get your planner out, that you planned your weekend. Number one rule, plan your week. I'll show you my week. It's all planned out for this week. I show you this sometimes, but anyway, let me get it out. Okay, so the week of the 26th is this week. So it's all planned out. Okay, and this is Kimmy's, she's in her apron planner. I have my morning routine right here. I have my evening routine right here. I have the things I want to do in my zone right here. And I have my focus right here. So my focus is being on time for commitments, both personal and professional, including routines. See, I too have to do that. I sometimes miss my routine because I get distracted. I talk to Larry. I drink an extra cup of coffee. And before you know it, it's time for me to get on the phone with my clients. And I haven't done my morning routine. And that does happen from time to time. Not a lot, but I wanted to make sure that doesn't continue to happen. And so I've got that as a focus. So when I look at this every day, I say, yep, that's what I'm doing this week. And then in my living area, I have a living dining area. So I'm going to organize my dining area as my first 15 minutes, shelves and books. A set of books right above me. I'm going to go through the shelves and then another shed of shelves of books because I've now spread to 2 shelves because I love books, even though I live in a tight area, and then polish the cabinet fronts. Those are the 4 15-minute things I'm doing in my living area. And so what I've done, I'm just going to show you this first so then we can talk about being knocked off the rails. I have a 1 here, a 2, a 3, and a 4. And as you can see, I numbered my work so I know what 1 is. 1 is work on these books. 2 is work on those books. 3 is, what did I say 3 was? Oh, sorry. 1 is straighten the dining area. 2 is books. 3 is the other books. And 4 is polish the cabinets. Okay, so I know that day that's what I have to do. It's not overwhelming. I don't have to do the whole thing at one time, 15 minutes at a time. Even though I work full time, I'm doing that because I do work full time. I work from 9 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and on Saturday I work Saturday morning. So I have to do that. And then the other thing I've done is we have 4 actionable items in the basic weekly plan. In the basic weekly plan. We've got weekly home blessing hour. That's very much an actionable item. I call it WHB. And I put it right here. WHB, 1 hour. That's on Tuesday because I don't get a free day because I work all week. On Wednesday is my day off, but I have things I'm doing in regards to building up our property with Larry. So I like to go do that, and I'm doing my zone work. So I'm getting it done I'm sorry, this is on Wednesday. Wednesday I'm doing it. That's what I had planned this week. And then planning and desk day, 2 hours, which even though I'm doing these things during the day, I can do it here. And my planning and desk day, because I don't have children, can extend a little bit. As far as errand day, I delegate that. Larry takes that. As far as car, Larry does that. I do my purse. So those are the 4 actionable items. The others are passive. You have free day, which I don't get. Well, I kind of do, but I don't. You have family fun day, which is on Saturday, and you have renew your spirit, which is on Sunday. And I go to church on Sunday. We go out to dinner on Sunday, Saturday, and which is also fun. And we have fun on Saturday. After I get off work, we go have some fun. Okay. So I want you to do that. Also, your menu should run down your right-hand side of the page there on that second page. And then I like right now, I'll show you what I did last week. I haven't filled it in yet, but for spending, I said no spend week, and that's going to extend this week because I decided the first week I spent personal money, the second, third, and fourth, I'm having no spend week. And then as you can see, this is where I run my menus down the side. And then I also have a to-do list, which I changed to a prayer list, and people who ask me to pray for them, I put it right there, and that's where I remember them in prayer. Remember everyone in Puerto Rico right now. Okay, so anyway, my point of this whole thing of showing you this is you have a plan. So if you say, well, golly, Kat, I've got to be at the doctor's at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I planned on doing my weekly home blessing hour then. So go to the doctor. When you come back, do your weekly home blessing hour. Yeah, but my children have to take a nap, and everybody can find all these excuses. Move it to another day. Transfer car and purse day to that day. Be creative, but don't let things happen that are emotional, especially emotional things, knock you off your plan. You can still do your plan, and you're going to feel better when you do your plan. If you have somebody who's disappointed you, that often knocks people off of their plans. So their brother or sister or mother or best friend did something to hurt your feelings, or they did something that you think is not smart. That knocks you off because you're worrying about that all day, which is not something you're supposed to do. You say, I trust in you, God. Handle everything. And trust him, and then go do your things. Because by doing those things, you're going to give yourself peace of mind. It's going to move your head from that worry spot to an action spot where you're doing something and you feel better. And when you're done, you might still have that little concern, not worry, but concern for your relative or your friend, or yourself. It could be yourself. Maybe you got a bad diagnosis. But by doing this, you're going to feel better because your house isn't going to feel yucky, and you're not going to be in that bubble where you're frozen and you think, oh, I really should do something, and you start to feel bad about yourself. That won't happen because you'll say, I did the things I'm supposed to do. Everything else, I see you, I have a plan for you, and you go on about your day. So think of the emotional sidetracked situations that are happening to you. Is your child a teenager now and getting sassy? Or is your child hanging with the wrong people and you're concerned about that? Worrying about that is not going to change it. Taking action is going to change that. Being the parent is going to change that. I think the worst thing for parents emotionally, or the hardest thing for parents to do emotionally, is to discipline and to rule. But it is your job to discipline and to rule. If you don't rule your house and discipline your children, then they are in charge. And when kids are in charge, there's chaos. So if you have to show tough love, you have to show tough love. But that is true love. Okay? That's probably the hardest thing, is when you're dealing with your kids and they're going down the wrong path. Tough love. And you start that young. And you mean what you say, and you stay consistent, because that's the dripping of water that wears away stone, the consistency. Just like, and I know this sounds offensive to many of you, and it's not meant to, but the truth is, how do you train a dog to not jump on your bed or on the furniture or whatever? You say down, no, down, no, down, no, over and over again until they know they're not supposed to get on the couch or they're not supposed to get on the bed. Well, if you say to your child, it's time for bed, and they say, Mommy, just 5 more minutes, and you say, okay, and then, because you're tired, and then you try to put them in bed, and they're like, I have to go to the bathroom. Mommy, I need you to talk to me. Mommy, will you rub my back? Mommy, I have to get a drink of water. Mommy, I'm hungry. Whatever, stalling tactics they have, you have to be the one who's in charge and says, no, you're not. You're not hungry. You're not thirsty. You've already been to the bathroom. Good night, sweet dreams. I love you. Don't get out of that bed. And that's consistent over and over and over until your child knows when you say good night, sweet dreams, I love you, that they say good night, mommy, I love you too. And you leave the room and they go to bed. That's the beginning of rules. And that's the same way with when you say it's time to do your schoolwork or it's time to pick up your room. Pick up your room is kind of a huge thing. It's time to pick up your shoes. It's time to pick up your clothes. It's time to take your laundry out of the dryer. Inspecting what you expect. All those things, those are difficult things, but that's being a parent. No one said being a parent is easy, but it's so worthwhile. Because when you raise your children well, they're so much more of a pleasure to be with. They aren't going to be perfect. They're going to act like every other kid in the world. So don't think your child is horrible. They're more than likely like every other child. But if you've given them too much leeway, they're really hard to rein in, but you have to do that. But in the end, if you want an adult that is a wonderful person and is your friend, because that's when you befriend your children. When they're adults, when they're little, you're not their friend. You love them, but you're kind to them, but you're firm because you're having to guide them. Okay, too much about that, I know, but I just want to hammer that home because that's probably the biggest distraction. But then illness is a distraction, illness of a parent, illness of a friend, death is a distraction. But all these things are life. And I'm not making light of them, but you have to keep going with your routines. When you do that, you're going to feel better. And don't you want to feel better? Okay, that's it for today. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope you always remember that you are beautiful. So be beautiful.